Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I got another great guest with me to talk about the Grant Cardone 10X events that just occurred in Miami. Again, this is a series of talking to folks that went, what they expected, what they got, what they're doing with all the information. So we've already done a couple, and this one is going to be just as exciting. I got Gonzalo Corzo with me, or as people call him, G. So he's going to be known as G through the rest of this. How are you doing this afternoon, G?
Good, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I'm excited to do this. I really just hopped on, so I'm sure that you have a great audience, and I'm super pumped.
Very cool, man. Well, it's fun. It's always interesting. I just sent out a simple Facebook post saying, "Hey, I want to interview people that went, and people that I don't know are going, yeah, I'll talk." And you were one of them, and it's great. We've done no prep work. We got like 60 seconds in to make sure the mics were working, and we're jumping in. So, why don't you just start by telling us who you are,
Love
what
it.
you do, all of that.
Cool. Yeah. So my name is Gonzalo Corzo. I am in Jacksonville, Florida, and what I do is I wholesale real estate. So what that means is I find off market properties for cheap investment opportunities, and then I sell them to investors. And what I do is I don't buy the house. I basically put the property under contract, and then I flip the contract to the end investor. So I'm basically selling him the contract that I have with the seller. I'm selling him my rights to the seller.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so that's what I do.
Yeah, that's a great business. In essence, you're controlling the property for a set number of days. Then you are essentially selling your position for an assignment fee, call it whatever you would like. And then
Yep.
an investor comes in, likely a cash buyer in most cases, and still gets a great return on the investment. I leverage wholesalers a lot, right? I'm generally a buy and hold guy, but if a wholesale brings me a
Nice.
deal that meets my numbers, I'm happy to reward them for their efforts. And I've done this on other videos. I have paid wholesale fees as large as 60 grand, right? It's been as small as a grand,
Wow.
but I have paid upwards of
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So I believe wholesalers are a vital part to this business, both for helping motivated sellers who maybe have a property that won't go the normal means, right? The MLS, the realtor, having a bunch of people walk through their houses, people owning stuff out of state after someone passes away. It's a vital function. So I love when I get to work with various wholesalers. So that's very cool. I am curious before we jump into the Grant Cardone stuff. Are you only doing Florida stuff, or are you doing multiple cities, or what does your business look like from a geography?
Yeah. So right now I am only in Jacksonville, Florida. We're playing with the idea of potentially going into another market, but we want to make sure that we cap out here in Jacksonville. Um,
Yeah, that's smart.
so yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You're getting your boots on the ground, your infrastructure. This is a game where sometimes the race to the seller wins. Tougher to do if
yep,
you're not right, boots on the ground, all of that. So, frankly, I get
correct.
nervous when I hear about virtual wholesaling and all of that. Some people are successful. I've done a couple interviews, but it's kind of risky. So, good for you. Keep it going. You're a vital part of the business. So, you're cranking in your
Appreciate
business.
it, man.
You see Grant Cardone's thing. You see him speak on his YouTube channel. Why'd you go? Why'd you go? I'm gonna spend X, and I'm gonna take 3 days out of my business and my family. What were you thinking? What were you expecting before you even got there? Why'd you go?
Yeah, so the reason why I went, so I'm a big fan of Grant, big
Mhm.
fan of personal development in general. Been following Grant for a couple of years now. Read all his books, and I went to the first 10X event, or the
Okay.
first Growth Con, which was 2 years ago. And then I didn't make it out to the one in Vegas, but I'm a big fan of personal development, just working on myself. I got started at an early age, so mindset was definitely huge for me. Big fan of events like that, Tony Robbins, stuff like that. I just go to as many events as I can go to, basically. So the reason why I go to Grant is because I'm a wholesaler, and I believe that in wholesaling you need great sales tactics, sales skills. So um, I also took part of my team with me as well. So I
Oh,
have
that's
two
cool.
acquisition managers that negotiate the deals as so I wanted to bring them so that they can get more involved into I pay them their commission based employees. So I want them to be motivated. I want them to hustle. I want them to think more like me. Right. So I took them, and then I went with my business partner, and I went with my fiance, and he went with his wife. So it was a great event. And I just go to just learn some of the tools that he gives. You know, I've learned a lot of it, but I go to just retrain myself, you know, so because you'll go to those events, and then after a couple of weeks, the high will just, you know, it'll just fade away after a couple of weeks. And then something that you know already, but you're not really doing it, when you go to those events, it just brings it back to light. So I love going to those events. And I was, what I was expecting is another question, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I guess what I was expecting was a big event, right? Because when I went to, because I go to, I guess the biggest event that I've gone to are Tony Robbins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are around 10,000 people, 8,000 people, 10,000 people. And this event, man, had 30,000 people plus, right?
Wow.
So it was crazy. But it was way different than the first one. So the first one, there was like 2,500 people there.
Okay.
And then I go to this one, and there's like 30,000 people there.
Wow.
So it was
literally
it was
10x.
great, but
everybody's paying attention.
Yeah, literally 10x. So it was great. It was great, and I'm a big believer in just working on yourself.
Yeah.
Always, you know, sharpening your sales skills.
Yeah.
Your especially as wholesalers. I think that a lot of people that get into wholesaling, because, you know, wholesaling is definitely at least, you know, from what I think, it's definitely the first avenue that a lot of people take when they get into real estate.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to have a license to wholesale. So there's a very low barrier to entry to wholesaling.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, they get into it, but they don't understand, you know, your money is made in negotiating a great deal.
Oh yeah.
And so you have to be a killer negotiator. And not only me, but my guys too, you know, because I have a team of 12, right?
Wow.
So we're 12 people. You know, we do, last year in 2018, we did over 100 deals. So I'm all about now, like, how can I empower my guys, you know, to do this with me, for me, and all that.
Yeah, there's a lot that you said there that we're going to unpack kind of piece by piece. First and foremost, you really highlighted that you go to events like this, like Tony Robbins, like others, because you want to sharpen your axe, right? When you're going to work every day, you're in the grind, it beats on you, wears on you. You know, just to steal an analogy I heard somewhere, you know, the axe gets dull. You've got to go and recharge or resharpen it, right? That's a goal of yours.
Yes.
Then what you did is you went, you know what? It's not only about me, right? You're leading now a team of 12, and you wanted to bring, I think I counted 6, right? Your 2 acquisition managers, your significant other, your partner, their significant other. So that was an investment, right? So, you know, that's a chunk of change, right? So, you know, you
and my sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no,
my fiance and my business partner's wife also work in the business.
Oh, cool.
So
it was in
really good. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. You were getting, really what that tells me is one of the things that I preach, and now I've never been a wholesaler, but I think this applies, is you have to have your significant other 100% on board, right? Because this business 100%. Is hard. And sometimes you're going to have to go out late at night or early in the morning, or sacrifice a family event or whatever to get the deal done.
Yes.
Or to hold the deal together.
Yeah.
And by making that investment, bring in the fiancés that are in the business, huge kudos to you. Many people miss that. They would have treated it like a 3-day weekend away from the significant others, and, you know, booze it up with the buddy, not even show up Saturday and Sunday.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So very good for you. Wise move.
I appreciate that, man.
You're going to be, you're doing all the right things. So, all right. So you show up, right? Grant Cardone comes parachuting into the event. You know, I'm sure fireworks and music are just thumping. Where were you in the stands? Were you up? Where were you? What, I don't know if you called it levels or.
So I was in the VIP section. So I was on the floor level, right behind like diamond and platinum. I believe those were the levels.
Yeah. So VIP. So you were on the floor.
Yes. So I was on
Yeah.
the floor.
And now when
Yep.
you are at the event, was the event more sitting down, talking with your team, absorbing, taking notes, or was it, I don't want that speaker, I'm going to go network, walk around? Or how did your team sort of treat all the great speakers that were there?
Yeah. So that's a great point, because when I go to those events, I intentionally go for networking as well.
Okay. All
right. So my team, we all got matching shirts for the event. Right. So we made shirts that in the front said, "I wholesale houses," and then in the back it said, "Do you wholesale houses?"
Look at you.
So that is a great takeaway, because I've been to a lot of events like that, and I've never done the T-shirt thing, right?
Very
It just
good.
seems kind of corny and whatever.
Not at all. Awesome.
But it was incredible. It was like almost like just everywhere you went, like if you were yelling, "I wholesale houses, anybody wholesale houses," like it was kind of like the shirt was like doing that for me.
Yeah. All the time, whether you were
and,
thinking about it or not. It's awesome.
Exactly. So, just walking down the hallway, people would be like, "Oh, dude, what market are you in? I wholesale too," whatever. Just so I built a lot of a great network of other wholesalers and other investors too. "Oh, where do you wholesale houses, man? I'm buying.
Yeah.
Let me know." So it was great for networking as well. So as to answer your question, most of it was sitting down and taking notes.
Yeah.
But in a lot of the moments, like in the breaks, because of the shirts,
Yeah.
we'd be just talking to people, networking to people, or we'd text back and forth to people that we met and say, "Hey, listen, during this speaker, let's meet up and talk shop."
Yeah.
And so some of the speakers that I have seen multiple times,
Yeah.
like the Shark. What's his name? I always forget his name. Damon John.
Damon Young. Damon, yeah.
Yeah. So Damon John, like I've seen him speak like 4 times now.
Yeah.
And so like during his speech, I would go and talk to some. I mean, it's all great stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what I was doing. Now
Right.
my team, at least my acquisition guys, they were mainly on the floor just learning,
just absorbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So
there's some things, that is like, do I really want them to listen to that? Because they're all like,
come here.
Because like Ty Lopez walks in and he's just like, "Man, if you're working for somebody, you're not you're not doing your thing. You need to go quit your job and whatever." And I'm just like, "Oh god, don't listen to this guy."
Yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. So one thing I want to give you special props for, and this goes for you going to any events. Lots of people talk about networking. Lots of people talk about sitting in their chair. Very few people do what you did. You essentially wore your business card on your chest. And I'm sure it was a bright color. I didn't even say it, but I'm guessing it was a bright color.
Yep.
So you were seen. If you're going to go spend that kind of money, go make it bright. Go make it say something funny, or, like you said, front and back be different. And market just standing there, not even, just walking to your hotel room, you're marketing, and you just never know who's going to come up and talk to you. So if you're going to go spend thousands of dollars, you should be marketing, right? Make it a business expense and just do it. You probably got 3x, maybe even 4x the number of contacts that you would have gotten if you just wore a dress shirt. That'd have been a waste of the VIP ticket.
100%.
Yeah.
It would have been a waste.
So
yeah. So here, let me see. I'm pulling it up here, but I don't know if you can see it, but that's all us.
Oh, there you go.
And black was on the 3rd day we wore black shirts. On the 2nd day we wore blue shirts, and on the 1st day we wore bright red shirts.
Nice. Make sure you when I post this, I want you to click one when I post this. Send it back. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're all sitting together, and it was cool because we were in the VIP section, and so like they would have the cameras constantly.
Yeah.
And we were in the very front row of the VIP.
Nice.
So as soon as the camera would come, I'd tell everybody, stand up, and we just stand every single time the camera would pass by. So
you're on video now.
Yes, definitely.
That's huge,
Um,
man. Again, genius move. You've already spent the money. You might as well wring every penny of value out of that. I don't know where
yeah,
you got
it
that
was.
from. Just a light bulb moment. Freaking rock star. Good job.
Yeah, yeah, it was incredible.
All right. So now you're at the event. You're already marketing your ass off, getting all these kind of contacts. I'm curious, any, two or three speakers that really just, I don't know, hit you or their story really touched you, particularly well?
Yeah, yeah. So a couple people touched me, right? And I'm a big fan of Ty Lopez,
Yep.
right? So that was my first time seeing him live. So that was really cool. To be
Nice.
straight up with you though, I like I feel like when he spoke, he talked to the crowd like if everybody already knew who he was,
Hmm.
right? So to me, for somebody who already knew who this guy was, it was awesome.
Right.
But he didn't really share any of his story. He had like 50
Oh,
slides. He only went through like 3,
ah,
right? So like he did
missed,
a
missed,
great job
missed
for someone
opportunity
like
though.
me. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like I feel like the people that already knew him were like pretty much sold,
Yeah.
but like the people who had no idea who he was, um, he just didn't do a good job of telling people like why you should listen to me, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and he did some of it throughout it, but everybody kind of shares like who am I,
Yeah. How did I
and then it gets
start?
you intrigued. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 People love the story, and he didn't really tell his story.
Yeah,
Um,
he's obviously come a long way, done some great things, still doing great things. But yeah,
yes, yes,
sometimes they forget. Probably in a room of 35,000, I don't know, probably assume half or
right,
40% kind of knew him. That means there's a whole nother half that hasn't. And
correct,
maybe
correct.
maybe he's tired of telling his story, but unfortunately his story is what we all connect to, right?
Yes,
So he should have
yes,
done a somewhere in the middle or something. But
yeah, yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
he's kicking himself now because I bet he
But it
realized.
was, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was just cool to see him.
Oh yeah, I can
Um,
only imagine. Yeah.
and I guess another speaker that really impacted me, to believe it or not, was Grant.
Okay.
Because I'm getting more into building uh, my personal brand more,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And using more social media to put it out there of what I'm doing. So it was really cool to hear him break down how he sold the event. So that was awesome. Like he talked about how much it cost him to put it on, and how much, like what it took to get 30,000 people there. So he went live in 2018. He went live like 760 times, right?
Wow.
He sent like, I don't know, it was like a million emails. He did like 800,000 calls. And so it just shows you like damn, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm
Yeah.
complaining cuz like
I made
I'm
50
not
calls
getting any
today.
traction, and I'm like, exactly, exactly, exactly. So I was like, dang, dude, like last night I went live. Um, and every single day I've been trying to post more and going live more, like, or yesterday I went live twice.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just basically he said this phrase, like, if they don't know you, they won't flow you, right? So if people don't know what you're doing, there's no way that they're going to be able to do business with you. So you have to go out of your way to let everybody know what you're doing. And everybody says that, but
Yeah.
I didn't really it didn't really impact me until I saw those numbers. Like, damn, this guy
Yeah.
really went live, 765 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, dang, that's like 2 times a day
It is.
at
It's
least.
two times a day. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, dang, if this guy's doing this for a year straight, I need to, get more active. And,
Well,
and it's been great because I've immediately implemented it, right? So like I implemented it. So I have a Facebook group for
sure.
wholesalers called the People's Wholesalers.
Yep.
So it's a free wholesale group, but every single day after the event, I was like, shit, let's just start right now. I
Yeah.
was
Let's go.
I was like, let's just go live right now. So with my team in that Facebook group, we're all wearing the matching shirts, and we would just share our the biggest takeaway for that day, right?
Nice.
So we just went live. We're just like, dude, we just got to go live all the time.
There you go.
Um,
Well,
so
let's give that a plug. Let's give that a plug one more time. Facebook group. I'm assuming people have to apply or ask to join or whatever it's called. The People's
Yeah, it's called the
Wholesaler?
People's Wholesalers. Yep. So there's the little, I don't know if you can see that in the back, but yeah, the
There
People's
you go.
Wholesalers.
Yeah, so blow them up, guys. And again, you don't have to be a wholesaler, right? Just an investor in general.
Correct. Yep. And it's a free group.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a huge takeaway for me. And he basically broke down that there's three different categories of people out there, right?
Yeah.
So category one is the people who already bought into who you are, already bought into your business. They already want to invest with you. They already want to learn from you. And then category two is the people that are on the fence, right? They're like, I might pay to go to the event. I might not. The event sounds good. Should I go? I don't know. Let me talk to my wife about it, whatever. And then there's level three, which are the people that are like, I'm never going to go to anything
Yeah.
that Grant's going to do ever, right? I'm just going to unsubscribe if, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
So he's like, you need to focus on the two.
Yeah.
He's like,
and
all of
ignore
your
the third.
focus.
Yep.
Yeah. Ignore the third. If you continue to attract the two, the ones will still love you and the
Yep.
ones will always be there. So your focus just needs to be on the two.
That's correct.
Just putting out content, and convert the twos to a one and not a three, basically.
One thing I want to do for you, because again, you've clearly already actioned this. You reached out to a guy you never heard of and said, "Hey, interview me," right? So you're doing those things.
Yes.
You're going live.
Yep.
DM me your physical address. I'm going to mail you an autographed copy of my book.
Oh, dude. Awesome, man.
One rental at a time. And then once you read it, we can talk and, because eventually you're going to get tired of wholesaling. You're going to need to supplement your wealth and you're going to want rentals. So we can talk about that after you read it. So make sure I get that address and I'll send you an autographed copy.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that.
So you bring your team, you do the investments, you market with shirts, you Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone. Now you're with your team. You drove or you flew?
We drove. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, so we just drove down.
So you're driving back. I don't know, did you caravan or one big car or?
So it was tricky. So my brother, actually another plug, right?
Sure.
So I have an older brother who's the one that got me into real estate. He was doing a TEDx talk in Dallas.
Ah, okay.
Literally the day after. Well, his TEDx talk was on Tuesday, and
who is he? Let's plug him.
His name is Diego Corzo.
Okay.
He's a realtor in Austin, Texas, and he's a mentor of mine and just kind of a great older brother. But he did a TEDx talk on his journey. He's 28 and he owns like 12 rental properties. He has a killer real estate team and he achieved financial freedom at the age of 26.
Wow.
So he's definitely someone that you want to hear a story. So we drove to 10X and then literally drove from Miami to Dallas.
Woo!
I met up with my parents, with my mom and dad, because they wanted to go see him as well.
Of course.
So we all just said, we've never done this. Why don't we just all drive up? It was an interesting drive back up, but another one of my Dominic is my business partner's name, right? Okay. So Dominic, he drove up with the acquisition managers.
Yep.
And then I just drove straight to Dallas, basically.
Right.
So the ride back with my fiance though was just incredible.
That's right? What I want to talk about. Yes.
Yeah. One of the big takeaways for this event is, guys, if you are out there, and I mean, I can't tell you how important it is to have your spouse or your girlfriend or your fiance or your family just aligned with what you're doing and understanding. And I know you said that in the beginning, but it's just crazy important, especially like, so I'm 23 years old, right? Oof. My fiance is 22. So there's really nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but at least nobody around me, right, doing what I'm doing. Like I have very little friends that are my age. Everybody who's my friend is like 35 or 40 and up.
I feel so bad for you. You're the young puppy.
I am. And so it's tricky, right? Yeah. It's tricky to you still see your old friends on Facebook, right? And they just graduated college and they're starting this job and so it's hard. Like I know what I'm doing this for. Yeah. And now I brought her along.
Yes.
And so taking her to these events and understanding what I'm doing and why I'm doing it is super beneficial. And this event was really good because Grant does a great job of highlighting his wife,
Yes.
right? Elena
Elena.
Cardone.
Yeah.
And she does a good job. Like when she speaks, all she talks about is how they built this together and how important it is to support one another and
Yeah,
how
she
important it
talks
is
about
to,
Empire, right? That's her new thing.
yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. So
I've
she
actually
just wrote
yeah, I've watched a couple of her talks. She is first off an amazing woman in
yep.
her own right, right? And
Yes.
then the compliment of the peanut butter and jelly or chocolate and whatever, her and Grant, that's a powerful couple right there.
Yes. Yes. And I like the way that she basically what she said is that she's the visionary and Grant is the doer,
Yeah,
right? Uh,
Grant's the doer and she's the visionary. I love that.
yeah, yeah, and
Go
I love
Grant,
it,
go.
and Grant will embrace that because it allows him to, because you said it yourself, dude. I mean, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's trying to build a business and scale a business, there's times where you're going to be away for the weekend,
Yeah,
or I can't take her to every single event that I go to,
right.
right? So sometimes I'll be away for the weekend, or I have to leave, get into the office by 5 a.m.
Right.
So I'm also in real estate wholesale. I'm getting into the education world.
Yep.
So every Wednesday night I do a coaching call at 8 p.m. to a private coaching group that I have.
Yep.
And so Wednesdays, she knows Wednesdays, like I'm just gone from like 5 a.m. till 10 at night. That's what I do every single Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Sundays, I do webinars every Sundays. So, and that's a Sunday. That's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's just getting her to hear that she's the visionary and I need to make my ideas her ideas so that she can tell me to do it and let me build it. Obviously, with 100% of her support, it wouldn't be possible. And her support in the business as well, because she's also in the business every single day. She's the disposition manager.
Yep.
And then also for my business partner, for his wife to come and just, because me and my business partner, we got to go away, so we're going to a wholesale event at the end and next weekend, right? So we're going away to Arizona to a different event, and it's just me and him this time.
Yeah.
And so like to continuously be able to plug away and stay into the office late, and me and him were here till 8 o'clock last night. So it's important to have your spouse and vice versa, right? Even if you're a female entrepreneur and you got to get your husband involved, or you got to get him aligned, right? Elena does a great job of portraying how important it is to sacrifice in order to build that empire, right?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I actually go as far as to say, because a lot of people I talk to are kind of busy professionals working 60 hours a week, have no time, but all of them have this little itch to be landlords or have some investments because it's where they see wealth and financial future and all of that. And I'm like, before you spend $1, go home and talk to your husband or wife and make sure they understand that, life's going to be different. They're going to make some hard choices. They're going to they're going to maybe miss a soccer game, or they're going to, take some of the money out of the account and put it in a property. And because real estate's going to test you, right?
Yes,
it's not all the sizzle like HGTV makes it sound. It's hard work. It has its bad days, but if you're on the same page, it just doesn't matter. You just keep moving forward. So I think it's huge that this event helped you and your significant other get there. And I'm sure it did for lots of others. I feel sorry for the people who went by themselves, right?
Yes,
they left their significant other at home. Dude, you missed an opportunity. All you're going to get is, why are you out so late? Why'd you spend X? What about why I'm watching it? Whatever.
Yep.
And, seriously reconsider that next time, people. Bring them, right? Him or her. I'm no judgment. Just bring him, right? Very cool.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, it sounds like it's a no-brainer question, but obviously now that you left, you got all this stuff, you are happy you went, yes?
Yes, totally. Totally happy I went. In fact, today I had one of the guys that I met down there. He said he was driving. He told me he was driving up to like North Carolina. Jacksonville's on the way. Yeah. So he just came by the office and he was here for like an hour, just taking a tour, So it was great to just meet other wholesalers. We're big on, you know, what you could call a co-wholesale or JV, right? Jacksonville has a lot of cheap properties, so we love meeting other wholesalers in different parts of the country because they can't find a rental for $50,000. You know, I'm selling a turnkey rental for $35,000, and obviously it's not in the best side of town, right? But it's bringing in $565 a month, and you know, I'm marketing it out for 35 grand. So like we want to do more business with outside wholesalers because we can get their investors stuff that they couldn't even get close to in their markets, you know?
Yeah. So why don't we just close with that? Go ahead and market yourself, how you want people to reach out, give that example or others. The floor is yours. Share whatever you'd like on how people can get a hold of you or become a part of what you're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. So, you know, like I mentioned, I'm a wholesaler here in Jacksonville. So there's multiple ways that we can connect and potentially learn and grow from each other. So I have my wholesale business. So if you're an investor out there looking for properties, my website for my wholesale business is investrla.com. Investrla.com. You'll see all of my properties there. You'll see my team. So everything is on there. And then if you guys are just interested in reaching out, talking shop, you can find me on Facebook, Gonzalo Corzo, Gonzalo Corzo, Instagram, Corzo the Great. And yeah, you can follow me there. I also have the free wholesale Facebook group. It's called the People's Wholesalers. And then I have a paid wholesale group that's $97 a month. And I give you guys all of my systems, and we do weekly coaching calls and everything. So if you're interested in any of that, man, just send me a message on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. And I want to thank you, Mike, for having me on. And I really had, you know, we literally just met on this call. So I'm excited that I had no idea that you were in real estate either. So that's awesome. So I'm excited, and you know what happens when you say yes. This is what happens when you say yes. You know,
absolutely.
I think it was Bo who tagged me on your post.
Yes, Bo. Yeah, absolutely.
So Bo tagged me. He was like, "Gonzalo was there. You should interview him." I was like, "Dude, I'm in."
Yeah, I'm in. Just yes. I don't even know who this guy is. If I see I have his freaking alligator on his freaking, you know, is his icon. What the hell is this guy doing? So, this has been a lot of fun. Lots of takeaways. Again, went VIP. Brought everybody, brought the team, marketed with the shirt, speeches met with you, took action after, significant other on board. You know, this is why you spend the money, because you want to return. Going there, taking some notes, not doing anything with it, that'd be a disappointment. And that's not you. So congratulations, G. This has been a ton of fun. You know, I'll be reaching out again. I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll talk.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
All right, G. Take care.
Take it easy.